My wife fished me out another cottage cheese container lid, and I made another grommet, got it glued up there where that quick drain for the fuel tank goes. I got to wait for the poly tack to set up on that before I put a doily over the top of it. Meanwhile, it's time to start thinking about finishing this thing up. We're all but done here. So one of the things we've got to do here now is to put these grommets on here. These are Piper part numbers. I got them from Stoddard's, which is basically a Univair. Well, there's a Univair part number for it. U60363-00. I think that's a 3. Might be a 9. Look at another one. It's definitely a 3. So anyway, I've got these, and these go over these jury strut attach points. We've got one for each of those. Then I got one that goes here where the pitot static line system goes right here. And what I've done here now is I took a straight edge and run a straight line, center line down between these two so I can line these up and get them straight with wing. This one here for the pitot tube, I took my drywall square and set it up on this trailing edge on this false bar for the aileron. Drew a straight line there through about the center line of where that hole is. So there's a hole right there in that mount for the pitot tube. Drew a straight line through that, lined up with the cord of the wing. And this one will glue on there like that. I've got marks right here where the hole is, the forward and rear section of the hole, so I can line this up, and that'll glue on there like that. Now here on the center outboard section of the wing, where the wing struts attach, we've got penetrations of the wing where the aileron cables go through. We've got one aileron cable comes through and goes to the lower bell crank on the aileron, and one cable that comes through and goes to the upper bell crank on the aileron. So there is a pulley that mounts here to this bracket where the wing strut attaches to, and that's for the aileron control pulley that goes to the upper one. I think that's what it goes through this hole here. So I have to locate these holes. I'm not going to put those holes in there until after the wing is all completely finished, but I want to locate them, and these get glued on where those holes go. You can see they've got a slit in them where the cable goes through. So I've got to get that fairly accurate. I can always open that slit up more or less if I need to get the cable to go through there without abrading on the fabric. I've got one more penetration of the wing here that I didn't have before, and that's where this hurricane tie down goes. I could put one of these on there, but they don't really match up. I don't really like that much. I've got some fabric here. This is some strips left over from the fabric that I had my seats upholstered in, and I can make a patch to go over this right here like that. And I'm trying to think of how I want it, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an oval and have it oval this way on either side so it goes across that wing spar, because we'll have a clevis in here, and this clevis will go back and forth like this. So if it bangs on anything, it's going to bang on this wing spar like this, in this direction. Well, anyway, this is what I'm leaning towards, is this, and I think maybe I'll go up and look and see if I got a bigger piece. This piece might be big enough because it spans, it's wider than the finish tape. Let me see how that goes. Well, this is what I'm looking at, is something like this. I could go more, put that there like that, run that out to about here. I'm thinking that might be pretty good. Alright, now I need to find the center of that. Now this is going to be a little difficult to fit in there because this is close together up here, and then it goes down and it flares out this way and flares out this way as it goes around the web of that spar. So this will work on this one. Those will work down there on the jury strut attach fittings and the pitot tube. These ones here for the aileron cables, I still need to figure out those. So this vinyl has fiber backing on here, cloth backing. You've got to get enough poly tack in there to get it penetrated into the weave of that. And this is actually thicker. This fabric here that I've got, this is my upholstery fabric, is actually thicker than this fabric that they've got. So that one's glued down, and I think that looks pretty good. I think that turned out pretty good. Bought a bunch of dried figs and dried plums off of Amazon the other day. My wife was wondering if she could make fig bars, like fig Newtons. So she got some figs and made some stuff to make fig Newtons and made some cake stuff to go around it. And they turned out pretty good. So she decided to try the plums. It's got the plum filling, but it's got the same cake stuff around it. And those are really good.
It's cookies. It's our cookies.
I got the grommets glued down on the two jury strut attach points and the pitot tube attach point, and then I got the one that I made set up on this new tie-down bracket. I gotta make sure that I get those other two for the aileron cables in the right places, so we got to do some checking on those. I was just going to put the doily over the drain for the fuel tank, but these little pre-made doilies I got just aren't quite big enough for that, so I'm going to make a doily for that. Well, I made a doily for that quick drain, for that fuel tank quick drain grommet, and I got it put on there. I've got to figure out where those two go for the ailerons. But my wife brought me up a sandwich and a couple more little cookies, so I'm going to stop and take a break and have a little bite to eat for right now.